All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's other ways to get this information, um, other media forms or whatever. I should find a better way to word that. There's rss.com that has a transcript. Free. You can go there. I'm under my FX Buddies. Spotify.com has audio and video. My FX Buddies, Rumble, everywhere that I post under my FX Buddies except YouTube. And YouTube, anything that I cover here is covered under the Fair Use Disclaimer Act because it's for commenting, critiquing, sharing, teaching, and it falls under the Fair Use Disclaimer Act. All right. So the blog, oh doggone it. Okay, I'm gonna make an edit. Something just hit me right now, but I'll do it. You won't notice. So I'm gonna have a blurb of a video I recorded. It's Sadani speaking to a group of, I believe they're his people, his tribe. Well, you know what? I'll get to that later. Okay, because this is the intro. Let me stick to the intro stuff. So the blog, which you may want to go to this time, there's a snippet out on Twitter, which is why I don't like people to only get their information from Twitter. It does seem negative, but it's just a snippet. I couldn't find the entire article, which is what I would like, because I like to see things in context. So I will have the link to the Twitter, but it's in Arabic. So you can go there and watch it. You're still not gonna understand it because it's in Arabic. So yeah, this is one of the ones where you may want to go to the blog. So the blog is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And that's a lot to remember or type in. So wherever you are watching or listening, look for a more info, intro, open description, something of that nature. Click on it. Another box will open and there'll be a link directly to the blog, which is free. There's no ads. I'm not selling you nothing. You just go there and you will get this here, this image that you're seeing here. All right. So, there was a lot of news Saturday. So there's lots of articles on here. And also, I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I just don't ever have the time. There are so many projects and new, non-oil revenue sources that I could probably do an hour video just on that. But I would like to do that because there's people who say they're not doing anything different. And they are. Not only are they, for instance, this is one thing I can just say off the top of my head. They've been manufacturing pharmaceutical stuff, pills, liquids, suppositories, cold medicine, right? They've been manufacturing enough for their needs, for the needs of their people. Well, this week they will be exporting a cancer treatment. So what does that mean? That means they have enough to fulfill their needs, and they've made more than enough to export and get money. So get money. Anyway, that'll be a non-oil revenue. And there's so many things they're building. I'm going to show you pictures of this hotel. I can't remember what episode it was, but I was saying they're showing these pictures of this hotel that is just, wow. I wasn't even sure if it was a rock, right? But it was. All right, so just because this is the starting article doesn't mean it doesn't get better. Also, don't forget, on Saturday, there was that wonderful announcement about they're going to open a bank. It said another bank, and I'm not sure if they mean another branch of the CBI or another bank. It could mean another bank, though, here in America to deal with credit cards, using the credit cards outside of the country. Right, right. With dinar goggles on, maybe it means something else, but whatever. So that was a special edition. I'll put that at the bottom of the blog as well. Matter of fact, that will be at the very bottom of the blog. If you didn't see it, because there's some people who totally leave dinar land for the weekend, which is good. I think that's great. You take a break. So yeah. All right, let's get started. All right, so financial inclusion rate in Iraq rises to 48.5%. So this came out today. And this is good, right? Because they're on a mad push to get people to me it's like brainwashing, but they have to move them forward somehow, right? Because if they don't, they'll stay stuck where they are, right? So, reflecting profound transformations in the financial landscape, Iraq has achieved a quantum leap in financial inclusion rates, recording an unprecedented increase. In light of this progress, officials have emerged to enhance digital transformation. So, it would be good if you read this because of time's sake, I'm not going to be able to read the whole thing. Plus, there's another article I want to focus on more than this one. So here, this is Sudani revealed that Iraq's financial inclusion rate has exceeded 40%, stressing that this achievement has been praised by international institutions such as the World Bank and the IMF. Now, in this regard, Dr. whatever his first name is, Saleh Mohammed, advisor to the Prime Minister for Banking and Financial Affairs. So, look, they put his whole title in there. All right. This is the advisor to the Prime Minister, Mohammed Saleh, but he is a doctor, a PhD. Confirmed that Iraq has witnessed a positive leap in financial inclusion rates over the past year and the beginning of this year. Now, why do they need him to confirm what the Prime Minister said? See, Mohammed Saleh, he's going to be the one to make the announcement. But anyway, so yeah, 40% of adults now have access to formal financial services such as opening accounts and payment cards, loans, and savings and other things too, right? They talk about e-wallets, so they really have advanced them along quickly. To us, it seems like it took forever, but 2018, 2019, they opened the Q cards, key cards, whatever, and then there was like a lull, and then it was like, okay, here's electronic payments. Here's the tap system. Hey, you can pay with your phone. You can shop online, right? Go cashless. All of that was like all of a sudden, right? So, it's pretty lengthy, but it's an easy read. Then here they even talk about, they emphasize the role of financial technology in supporting digital banking governance, enhancing transparency, increasing the efficiency and speed of banking transactions, and ensuring the integrity of financial data for individuals and companies. Well, let's see. So, yeah. And then this is that lady that they just had that digital technology, financial inclusion thing at the university. This is her. She's the head of the bank's CBI, Financial Affairs Department. And she said financial inclusion has become a pillar of economic and social development of the society as a whole, right? So, yeah. And there's still more. Look at that. So, it's a very good, very positive article that, yeah, what's the word? Comprehensive. So, but here he says this is a different person. And what is his position? The douche. I think he's an economist. Yeah, he's an economic researcher. So he says this is all fine and everything, but I'm reading here if you're following along. These efforts cannot bear fruit without a complete transition to e-government, linking all government transactions from paying fees and taxes to settling fines to electronic payment methods. So he left out 24-hour electricity and 24-hour internet, right? All right. So, yeah, so that's good. Okay, now here. This is another positive but long article. This came out today. And see how this is red? I didn't do this. The website did that. They have red for urgent, yellow for important, and then no, just regular news gets no color behind the text. So, Iraq markets have recently witnessed a significant decline in the dollar exchange rate. Now, this is the parallel market, right? And so here they're saying 1440, but it did get, I'm going to say up to, because, right, it's a smaller number is a higher value. It got to 1435. It closed out the week at 1435. Today there was one place where it was still 1435, but for this article they're using 1440 because just like we have Forex has a buy and a sell, they have a buy and a sell, and it's 1435 and 1440. All right. So they talk about fluctuations where it got as high as 1500. So this whole article is going to talk about the decline in the dollar, the decline in the use of the dollar, reasons for it, and it's multiple experts. Okay, so again, I feel this is more important than the other things because me personally, I follow the money. I try not to look at the kablooies and stuff, right? I try to stay away from the politics and yeah. And then like I said, the projects and contracts, right? Except for oil. We have to pay attention to oil because oil is 95% of where their money comes from, right? Okay. So they talk about the talks which are going well still, successful negotiations, and the easing of the pressure on the Iranian banking system will ease pressure on the Iraqi dollar. And it says Iraqi dollar, but they mean the US dollar being used in Iraq. All right. So pressure on that is what makes it go up. When there's less pressure, it goes down, and then the value of the dinar goes up, right? It's like a seesaw. And it says experts do not rule out another factor, the recent restrictions on Visa and MasterCard. But we know that's already being worked on, right? Because June 1st, what? Here in America, there's going to be a bank that's supposedly going to handle the credit card transactions, all right? Mustafa Hantoush, He's a financial expert. And he's saying they should never reach more than 1320 because 1320 is the specified rate, right? So here again, they're talking about the negotiations is helping, thus lowering the parallel exchange rate. That's what we want to see. Here's another academic saying the Iraqi economy is linked to the global economy, and its revenues depend on oil, which is priced in US dollars. I know there's some people out there saying that it is not, but it is. All right. And here, our president and the American market, and there they talk about the tariff issue. And here's a slight mention of BRICS. Today, there's a degree of confidence in the CBI's performance regarding the dollar, particularly since it has restricted electronic transactions using cards used by travelers, blah, 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 right? Parallel market difference. There's a trend towards trading in gold. Here's another expert. There are no political reasons, and it is within the range. Okay. The real estate market and the car market are stagnant. For some reason, they still allow them to buy cars in dollars. And if you don't remember, maybe 2 months ago, it seemed, and now it really seems like real estate transactions may have been being used for money laundering. And then they said, okay, anything over 500 million dinars, I believe, has to be done through a bank. Well, lo and behold, once they decreed that, you don't see too much real estate transactions now. So I guess they were doing money laundering, or it's just people don't want their business. You know, we're free. We like being free. We like handling our business without eyes on our business, right? So, and I'm sure whoever was doing that, they'll find another way, right? They always do. So there's that. But I like the last sentence. The decline will continue in the coming periods. So this week, I'm looking for it, the parallel market, to go below 1430. All right. Okay. That's one of the things. All right. So now here we'll go to Saturday news. And I'm sure, I know some of you listen to other sites, so this is probably old to you, but some of you don't. So, automation, economic reforms, and waste management topped the agenda at Iraq's meeting with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. So, let's see. Who was here? And these meetings took place the 23rd through the 25th or sometime, but they didn't start writing articles and putting the articles out until after they were already done. So here's Aliyah Locke, and here is Minister Sammy. She's the finance minister. This guy looks familiar, but I don't know his name. So these are our people. I forget his name, but he's a treasury person. No, sorry. He's the World Bank Middle East person. Let's see if he's there. World. That's him. All right. So this was good. They talked about some pretty serious stuff, and you should read this. See, the development fund, anything you can imagine, I bet, was spoken of, but only some of it is in this article. And here they want solutions to implement and complete projects within specified time frame. Good luck with that. Here's all the things I don't want to say. Okay. There was some headway made also um, on other news. Oh my gosh, look at that. We're at 20 minutes. Okay. Um, there was another area of Africa that was about to go into war, and we stopped it. But, you probably won't hear about that because they don't like to report this president doing good things. All right. Finance Ministry discusses global economic challenges and financial stability in Washington. So, another article covering the same little details here and there, right? But yeah. So here, new rise in the toman, which is the Iranian rial, because the talks are going well. Okay, Saturday. Sudani succeeded in this is Turkey. This is Erdogan. The first country he came out and said, I want to invest in this country is Iraq. So that's a feather in Sudani's hat. A transition that is happening for the first time. All right. And so they had the talks and they went well. The fourth is going to be this Saturday, provided this coming Saturday, right? Provided the week goes well. Oh, wait, May 3rd. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. It's going to be May 3rd. Okay. Tentatively. And then here's the Iranian foreign minister having words. And look who's there. Look who's at these talks. Economists and bankers, in addition to that. Okay, Fitch Ratings came out and said Iraqi banks will not be harmed by the decline in oil prices. So I wonder if that will help the citizens have confidence. So we'll see. Now here's the hotel. This is the courtyard, I guess, where you would come in. And then there's pictures here. I invite you to look at those pictures. Okay, so there was a meeting. So here, Baghdad is rapidly becoming a major city. He had a meeting where he spoke to his people. And I'm gonna put the video here. All right, so here he is. And he said some good things. And I've been told there was a major announcement. See? Okay, he's brown. That's brown, right? To me, it looks brown. These brown robes. Can I make this bigger? Yeah. These brown robes. Oh, shoot. Of course that would happen when I didn't want it to. Here, pause. Pause. With the head thing, headdress, it hangs down. It's black and white. And then the little ring on top of the head is black. That, whoever these are, that's his people. He's Shia, right? So I guess they're Shias, but the village, these are the ones where he went and gave them gifts and he announced to them first he was going to run again. Okay? So they were there wherever this meeting took place on Saturday. So I have a 3-minute little video so you can see that if you'd like. I know some of you like to see things like that. And it'll be right here before this article. This was kind of bad news, but it is what it is, right? They're saying there's important laws that probably are not going to get done until the next parliamentary session, including the oil and gas law. But then there's also an article saying they are going to do it. Parliament is going to do it. Okay, so here's another article about the government advisor reveals the reasons for the dollar's decline, but it's not as comprehensive as the first one. that was at the beginning. Here, 2025 budget tables with no horizon and a deficit of 60 trillion dinars. And look, we're still on Saturday. Okay? The delay in approving the budget highlights deeper problems related to economic planning and mismanagement of resources. All right, there's my one commercial. Buy me a coffee. A couple of you did over the weekend, and I got some Cash App support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It makes things better. Oh no, doggone it. All right, so here's they had a couple of articles about the legal disputes and stalled negotiations between Epicor and Baghdad. They even have, I might have it here, an article saying, hey, we sent you all this money and you still are not coming to the table with our guarantees that we want. So the oil still is not flowing, right? So they're still going back and forth with that. And I think they just have to put news out because the people are probably wondering, hey, what's going on, right? So they have to put news out. Now this, I wanted to show you this. Parliamentary Economic Committee highlights the importance of the Industrial Investment Law. It prohibits unjustified imports. So see, it's not just a rate change that they need. We need it. But they also have a ton of laws that will make investors, foreign and domestic, feel better because there's protections. There's like, you can't bribe people, you can't extort, you can't kidnap. There's laws like that. And yeah, they've been passed, they've been sitting there for years, some of them since 2007, waiting to be put in the Gazette. Okay, now this, it is interesting. So, like I told you about the little blurb that was on Twitter that is negative, it is interesting they chose to put this article out today. The 25K note accounts for the largest share of banknotes in Iraq. Then there's a whole bunch of other numbers here, okay, that clearly I didn't read. But I know there's a whole segment of dinar land who really pays attention to how much money. Remember Breitling? He was really one of those ones. The M1 money supply and the M2 money supply, and they have to get it down to this percentage. It's not going to happen. And you know, hey, maybe they were right. But here, there's the 10K note. So if anything you can grasp from this is they do know how many notes there are, how many notes have been printed. There's a graph there, but it's in Arabic. Yeah. So this, see this 100 trillion Iraqi dinars is quoted in that snippet from Twitter, which I promise we'll get to. All right. Here is Mohammed Saleh speaking more about the 2025 budget. It's flexible, but you know, where is it? Okay, so here's Sadani. Some of the things that he said during that speech. Look, he's laughing. And here's another meeting with his people, right? He said, let's see, that the focus of the government program is on the citizens. He's been able to implement, he didn't give a specific percentage of his program, but we put Iraqi's interests first. We we are back in our pivotal and powerful role in the region. And by 2027, all power stations will be run by gas. So those were just the statements that I could get the AI to translate. But then they did put out an article, right? Here, excellent talks between Fuad Hussein and US officials in Washington. They discussed our president's upcoming visit to the Gulf. So you can read that. Some people think he's going to sneak into Iraq. I don't know. We'll see. But you should definitely want to read that. And I think we're almost done. Here's another article about no budget this year, but Parliament intends to pass the budget this year. So, typical. Here's another article. Is it Mohammed Saleh? Let's see. Yeah. Mohammed Saleh gives 3 factors behind the decline in the dollar's exchange rate against the Iraqi dinar. So you see how much they're talking about that? All weekend, that was the talk. It was on TV, on their talk shows that they have in the evening. They're really talking to them about financial inclusion. You need to go digital. I bet you they talked about you need to bring in your 3-0 notes. But I just didn't see that. And this is the last article. GE, we have implemented strategic agreements on the ground in Iraq. All right. Now here it's all scrunched up, but this is the Twitter snippet. I think I still have him up. Let's see. Yeah, so here he is. This is it. The date's not here, but it's Friday the 26th. I will try to embed it, but like I said, he's speaking Arabic. All right. So let's go back here. The governor of the Central Bank of Iraq to this news place, right? The project to remove zeros from the dinar is ongoing, but it requires withdrawing and replacing 100 trillion dinars from the market, and I rule out its implementation this year. Does he rule out the implementation of these 100 trillion dinars being withdrawn, or completing the project to remove zeros? We don't know. This is just a snippet. There was no, I can't find, I did look. I know this website. I have it. I don't have it on this. Yeah, I have it right here. It's a website I go to regularly. See? But I didn't see an article, and I would rather get this whole conversation in context than just go by this little snippet. Okay? So, but what if it's true? What if this doesn't happen this year? That's why you need to live your life. You need to go on your trips. Don't put off starting a family. Don't put off treatment. If you need a surgery, get that surgery. If you want to get married, get married. If you want to get divorced, get divorced. Do not put your life off waiting for it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen this weekend, because people have been here 15 years, 20 years, and they're still waiting, right? That things are definitely different, but we're still here waiting. Live your life. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. I'm even at a loss. I don't even know what to look for this week, but my timeline is June, right? So the next thing I'm looking for, well, like I said, this week I would like for the parallel market rate to get below 14, maybe 1380, 1370. Maybe we'll get some clarification on this project to remove the zero statement. The group should be returning back from America to Baghdad. Maybe we'll get some more details on that. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Usually I have like 4 things that I'm looking for in a week, but I just told you that. So yeah, so I'm going to end this. I know it went a little long, but it was a great article day, you guys. Great things are happening over there. But I know we want to go to the bank, and eventually we will. I don't have a date for you. My timeline is June, and they're doing some things in June. So we'll see. And before you know it, June will be here. But live your life. Enjoy your life. All right? All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you, new subscribers. Thank you to the lady who posts thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are great, and I appreciate you. All right. I'm sure I'll probably post tomorrow, but I don't know what time. Yes. So if there is a like, subscribe, follow, join, whatever type of button, wherever you are enjoying this content, click that because I don't post regularly. And if you do that and all things work as they're supposed to, then when I update, you will be notified. All right. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame this is for you. And until next time.